Copyright 2017 Win Your Brand. All rights reserved. This video is subject to copyright owned by Win Your Brand. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this video is expressly prohibited, unless Win Your Brand has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other rights reserved.
As I say, if you wanna set it up right, you must have for every single product, point of contact, offer, you must have a full sheet like this. Not necessarily all the element, maybe one or two, and I will go more about this. And then you have to have all of these sheets and you structure them with this order when you will use them. This is the business blueprint. It's not a marketing plan, it's not a business plan. Now, you want to get somebody to market your event or you market your offer, you give them a copy of this sheet. Here is the benefits, here is the features, and you can also attach samples of what you do. So they will go and just basically fill their websites.
Right. And that will be both product and service, correct?
Like this will be everything.
Because for example, my partner, he's opening up a dispensary in Red Deer, right? So we would do that for the dispensary as well.
For every single
specific product of the dispensary.
Yeah. For every product.
You missed that part. It's just like a business card, website, postcard, networking event, public speaking.
So another question: why he will ignore me and they will talk to her side of the way?
Relationship.
Because he has a bigger heart than me. So he will ignore the whole content. He will put himself into discouragement, and he will try to help the one beside him. That's why I never get offended with side talks. I look at them and I see they are not distracting, but I love them because it demonstrates that I'm serving the right crowd I love to serve. I am a very scientific guy, by the way, and I'm using the knowledge to be simple for people who are heart-centric, heart-dominant, to be successful in their life. This is how I get it. Does it offend me? The people who are not competent and they don't understand the reasons, they say, I'm the boss here, I'm the authority here, why this is...
Yeah.
And you've seen this.
Yeah,
You've seen this, that's right?
Yeah, I didn't think about it till you mentioned it, but yeah, because I know...
Several
I've
people
had unfit people that are standing there and I'll wait till you're done then,
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, so...
Which is why we're not in partnership anymore.
So I as I said, you authorized me to pick you as a life examples of how I believe and how I act. And all what I did is in my life is I went to this particular conflict resolution event. I seen this trigger, I seen this, I said, you know what? I wouldn't use this. This is not effective in conflict resolution, guys. I know where this can be more effective. It's actually in sales and marketing. So this is where I borrowed these models from there, and I adapt them and develop my own adaptations to it, and I became with the original content because nobody getting it them from there or the step. Anyway, keep explaining to her.
Get it?
I did, but I'll take a photo of it later on.
No, it's right there.
So, yes. Yeah, well, it's got the top of the words, right? Or that's just anything.
But this is just my specific.
Oh, okay, your specific.
That's
okay,
specific to me, right?
Any more questions or any discussions before we go back to the workbook? Okay.
I do have a question, just to clarify. You had said it kind of in passing, which was, that's why at the end of 3 days, people buy $20,000 product. So that's because you're talking to all of the decision dominance dividers. And because you said you added that
people
because
will
they're
engage.
so tired.
No, they are not tired.
Not
people
tired.
will engage because you can deliver a crisp, clear message with an explicit offer. Now, if Jennifer is a logic-driven, or Jennifer actually is a process-driven, and then she's a heart.
Right.
So when I stand in front of Jennifer and say she's a heart and process, I think, and the logic say, and it's very logical. Her subconscious mind will say, what the heck? I'm tired. I don't want to listen. I'm now thinking about my daughter, which is a dance club tomorrow? Yeah, I will think about my daughter, which has a dance experiment tomorrow. I want to look at my phones. I want to, this customer, which I did not talk for 25 years. I will call him in Hawaii, and I cannot find him. All her subconscious mind will go elsewhere. And we will not be able to feel it. So when I talk to her dominant dividers and I use the right language to trigger her into engaging with me, she will comply to what I want to do. So I get her into mindless engagement, mindless compliant. So I can get her now to accept that I can take her to the next step. How do I take her to the next step? To sign up to the program, which will be a monthly subscription fees. So now she is clear mind, she can see the value, she engage with it and say, yeah, you know what, it was trying it. So we are not just I don't want you to position it as like we are pushing them, triggering them to fool them to sign up with whatever they don't.
No.
But we are have a crisp, clear message going to her subconscious mind.
You're just speaking so she resonates with you.
So she will resonate with me, you know. If I go to Tracy is different because she has different triggers. She is more into the process first. If we have an engineer here, he will be more on the logic.
On the logic side, right?
So when you have this, when you observe this in what you do, you will find like 1-on-1, 1 to 3, because 1-on-1 is a story, 1 to 3 or 1 to 4 is a complete different story, because the 1 to 4 or 1 to 3 and more is 1 to many.
Right.
And if you have two couples in one room, you have to be able to talk both language. So you have to train yourself. Who is the heart? Who is the head? Because each household will have the 4. If you don't have the 4 triggers, you will not be able to watch for the bells, pay them on time.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and usually we are complementary. 60% divorce in North America because we are frictioning from each other because we don't align our values. So if you have both of them together in front of you, you have to be trained. That's how you will talk. Which one is the heart, which one, and this is a complete training set than 1-on-1 over the phone or than 1 to many. If you are a good speaker and you do this for a living, I can train you in the whole series because I will come down from the stage now. I will stand by the door. You will come to me 1-on-1. What will happen?
1-to-1.
Yeah.
You'll close the deal.
I have to be closing the deal using individual objections.
Yes.
When I am here on the stage and I hear the objections from the room, this is our crowd objections. 1-on-1 is a different persuasive technique. When the couples will come to you, you have also to be able to overcome their objections as a couple.
Right. As a 1-to-many, basically.
Not 1 to many, as a couple.
As a couple. But there's 2 couples, it's 1-to-many. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is our complete different skill sets.
Yes.
Now, do you need to know all of these skill sets? The question is great, but the answer is simple. No. Because with your demographic, you will not need to know the whole system. Like if you only exclusive sell to Holistic Earth and similar groups, all of them are feelers. There is very logic people there. Logic dominant. They are very logical. So when we talk about feelers, and that's why I'm not offending anybody. What I'm saying here is, this is our dominant dividers. Dominant means what? I will put my heart first. Then I will back up with the logic, or I will back up with the step, and the logic will be the third. So each one of us has the 4. Each one of us has 4. Which one are more dominant? So when I say people are hard dominant, they have no logic, it doesn't mean they don't have brain.
Yeah.
But they appreciate the logic.
Yeah.
The heart first.
Yeah.
When people are pressured, they can appreciate something different. So when you use this language, when you understand this, so for example, one of the common practice I've seen is when somebody don't understand this business, and please, if somebody doesn't understand it, you don't deserve that you listen to them because they're wasting your time. So I stand up and leave. But I notice that people will go to holistic groups, not your holistic, but similar holistic groups. There are 7 or 8 of them in Calgary. And they will start the presentation. Who is here a business owner? Who is here? A mom. Who is here? Okay, with the third question, the feelers are out. So you find somebody will start with like 10 questions. Okay, feelers are out. And what are you selling now? Life coaching? Doesn't sell.
Right.
It doesn't sell. Because life coaching is meant for feelers.
Right. Yeah.
So if you start with, because you came from a financial control in an oil and gas company, so you came from a process, all what you know is a process. You cannot talk this other people's language.
Right.
Okay? So if you are selling to holistics people or feelers mainly, you will find 80% of your customer like that. You don't need to know the whole system. You just need to know from the system all this part which is relevant more to your customers. People like me who is selling across of the different board, like we serve like 82 different disciplines. We are expert in the whole system. We can talk different language. And as I said, like if you go to the recording, look at the other videos and you'll find the language is different. Here I'm trying to talk more about your feelings, not how logical this can be. Does this answer the questions?
Yeah.
Any more questions for? Okay. So if you don't have questions, let's just go with the workbook. So now we understand 4 points, which is what are your strengths. So now we are in the distill mode. So in the distill mode, what strengths and the skills come over and over again. So in the previous 4 questions, in the previous 4 answers, what kind of strengths and skills came over and over again? You may want to start.
Do I start here? Okay.
You
Thank
may,
you. 'Cause I was like,
you may want
yeah.
to start from here.
Thank you. Okay.
So what are the strengths, the skills came over and over again?
Would that be like relationship and processing skill?
Whatever skills, what is your definition?
Right.
So whatever skills and whatever strengths you have. Now, what skills do I enjoy using as often as possible, regardless of the task? Number 3 is, what skill have I mastered but rather not use every day? Why you laugh?
I'm an accountant. I'd rather not do it every day.
So number 3, what skills have I mastered but would rather not use every day? Number 4, which strengths and skills are going to be the most useful as I begin my career search? Which strengths and skills are going to be helpful as I begin my career search or my business or and I would like you to share here. So do you want to share your answer to question 4 before we proceed to question 5? Timothy, you want to share your 4?
Okay. Strengths and skills are going to be most helpful as I begin are communication, team building, and training.
Okay. Lily, what do you have?
Leadership, organization, and well, I put confidence. But
Okay, great. More sharing?
Sure.
Yeah.
Resourcefulness, encouragement, care of other people, planning, project management, and transformation and change.
Can you repeat again? Sorry.
All of it.
Yeah.
Resourcefulness,
Okay.
encouragement,
Okay.
care of other people,
Yeah.
planning,
Yeah.
project management,
Yeah.
transformation and change.
So what are you missing?
Money.
So what skills are missing? What skills I would like to build but have not yet had an opportunity to practice? So what are you missing? If you listen to what Timothy was saying, so what did you say, Timothy?
I said communication, team building, and training.
Okay. You didn't have communication. And he didn't have planning.
True, because the sales part of it is the communication part.
The marketing is part of it. Communicating the promise is part of it, communication part. And what he didn't have? He didn't have planning. So that's why I would rather people share at this stage, because you need to be aware for number 5. What skills you don't have? Because you have to figure out, and I'll show you what you can do about these skills. Okay? Anyone else want to share number 4? Okay, go ahead.
This is off the top of my head because I did number 5 first. But so strengths and skills, I would say, is my presentation skills and selling skills,
Okay.
and speaking skills, right from that perspective. Motivation. What I'm missing is the implementation, meaning first things first. I'm great at ideas. I've got lots going on. I see opportunity in everything. I just don't know the very first step.
Okay. Jennifer, you want to share? No pressure. If nobody will you can say skip. Like, we will not hold it against you or with you.
For me, it's relationship building, training, and encouragement, because we're looking to expand our sales team. But as far as sort of practical skills go, I need to get more people who can do the things that I'm doing, so I can go out and do more selling.
So why you don't get people to do more selling,
Yeah.
and you keep doing what you are doing? Because you don't have a blueprint of the business. You know, if I disappear, whoever has the blueprint of Win Your Brand, he or she, most likely it should be she, she will be able to run it 80% successful. 2011, I went to Saudi Arabia. I became a personal advisor to the Crown branch and the royal family for a year and a half. I came back, I sold my company at 3 times the price before I left. I was not engaged with them because I had process there. Everybody will come just to implement the process. 80% compliance. So I'm not saying what you are saying is wrong or right, right? It's just this is a safe environment, and we permit each other just basically shout their ideas. Why don't consider keep doing what you love doing right now, and you get somebody else to be trained to only sell? I don't know. And it comes also to you.
I'll say that it comes down to paying them is the thing.
And
Because in my industry, the way you get paid is much the same as investments or what do you want? Insurance and whatnot. You only get paid when you make a sale, and on top of that, your residuals don't kick in for 2 months until after they've been in business.
So if I find
having somebody get through a year of being willing to stick it out to get to the point where their residuals are paying for things and the bonus is making the sale is very difficult. And at that beginning part, finding somebody who's able to not be focused on I have to make a sale today to put food on my table is very difficult.
This is your own view, your own biased, selective attention and biased interpretation to what's happening. Because I can go to somebody just kicked out of a job on not WCB, on EI. He will have income for the next 12 months, but he has time. So if I can show how to invest your time, so you'll get money in 6 months to 8 months. They already have money coming from to pay the basic bill. So this formula, if he has the right quality, has the right skill set, it will work with your money cycle. Do you agree?
Yes.
So, but the point I want to say here is we are here to just shift our mind, shift our perspective. So I do the same. I said, okay, you know what? I want to get somebody to do what I'm good at doing it because I want to do something else. So why I don't just figure out somebody to teach him how to do that something else, and I keep doing what I'm doing. I understand it's supervision, overhead time. It's you pay them, you actually invest in them because somebody said it a long time ago. He said, I would rather getting 100 people working for me and I will make 1% than doing 100% of the work and I get fully paid. Is Rockfeld, the one who has the Rockfeld Square. He controlled about maybe 90% of the oil trades when the oil was just discovered, the crude oil. He said it very loudly. He said, I would rather having 100 people and I will get 1% of each than doing 100% of the work and retain the 100%. So this is also something you have to understand, that you can keep doing everything. Like we come as entrepreneurs and we want to do things and we feel, okay, you know what, money is the biggest challenge for me. I will not hire anybody. I will not participate in any training. I will just sit, I will go to my cousin Google and I will search everything. There's plenty of YouTube, you can do everything, you know. On YouTube you can do from the needle to the rocket, you know, you can do everything on YouTube.
All the free training available.
Yeah, and I will do everything myself. That's great. That's why you spend 3 years and you can close 8%. If you come and stand in front of an expert within 2 to 3 months, it was like 6 hours. You're able to go out and make $10,000 a month for 2 months. Very straightforward. So why you did not elect this from the beginning? Because we have our fear, we have our ego. We feel we are powerful, resourcefulness, and that we can do it. Oh, you can't. Like few of you shared with me the beginning, everything I was sharing in the first 2 hours is brand new. Okay, if you are communicating with people and you don't know this information, there's a problem, you know.
And Google's not going to be that clear.
Google will be clear for the rule, but how to apply it to yourself, nobody. Like we go around and say, okay, how much do you pay me for my knowledge? 90% of my knowledge actually exists outside, at least in my books. There is only this 10% of application where I can take your program, I can take your message and make it successful. This is what was tens and hundreds thousands of dollars invested in my relationship with anybody. That's it. Because when I sat with these individuals who have companies on the other side of the table, we sat here. I usually sit here and they sit in this area. I don't know, I'm not sure why. Because from the Japanese perspective, I learn in protocol, when you have an important guest, you give them the nice view or the door or the window. Or so when I said, okay, so how we do it? Okay, so this is what your business, this is what your customer, this is how the sheets should look like. So in a couple of hours, it saves him like 2-3 months. So we always have this barrier in ourselves. That's, I wanna get somebody get what I'm doing, and so I can do something else. But you enjoy what you're doing, that's right?
Mm-hmm.
So why you don't get somebody doing some other stuff? I don't know. Let's just have the question rolling, okay?
Actually, we had this discussion, I remember with my operations, because I was saying I'm going to have a hard time making all the sauces, and I don't want to start pushing my marketing if I can't even make it all alone, because then why do you have to make it all alone? So it kind of triggered me. I was like, yeah, I could pay someone a much smaller fraction, get all the sauces, and be able to make my marketing goals instead of just being like making all the sauces by myself and probably taking 20 times as long to get to my goal.
Yeah, and this fear can drive us nuts because we stop marketing because you know what? You know, if I get so many customers, I'll be super busy, I cannot help them. And you know what? Integrity is an important value for me. I said, what? What do you mean, integrity? What do you mean integrity, important value? What did you have before integrity? No integrity? So it bugs me when you see people, oh, our value, our core value. Integrity, honesty,
Respect.
So before that there was
What
one
is the
thing
third
else.
one?
Yeah.
Respect.
Respect.
Yeah, no, but integrity and honesty is the ones which really bug me. Respect, okay?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
And all the clinics will have this. If you switch and say customer first, customer service first, we respect life-lasting or long-lasting relationships, 30 people will come to you. But if you have integrity, you wake up in the morning, you realize now that integrity is important. What have you been doing? Okay, so number 5 in page 12, we go to what skills are missing and what skills you would like to build. Then we go to the complete the distilling point, which will be like you have this U in the middle, and then you have 5 strengths on the spaces. So what are the 5 strengths points? You can have 3 to 5. So if you can put the 5 on page 13 or 4. And the question will be now is, just can you open it in the middle? Yeah. This is one in front of you, Jennifer. Is just one which has the U in the middle. This one. So do you have 5?
No.
So You have 2, 3, 4, or 5. The question to you is, how many of your contacts right now, people who spend with you time, agree that these are your strengths? So we used to do some an activity which is stopped doing it because it creates so many things with the privacy commissioners and so many problems. So we used to give you a survey, and you take the survey and you spread it over like 25 individuals. It has completely six questions, complete different questions. But this survey will tell us what your strengths point. And then you have your strengths here, and when we show these reports, you will understand what people see strengths in you.
Oh, I wish you could still do that.
We can do it within specific limitations, but it created for me a big headache, but it was very valuable.
Yeah.
So the most valuable part that I had a life, not a life coach, a succession coach. You know, like when you finish your life and you have your payment coming from the government, and you need to figure out activities. So he was running program for people like 55 years plus. And what came as a strength from his anonymous people who bought in, that he's very well connected to beer.
Did you say beer?
Beer, yeah. He is very well known for beer because whenever you meet him, oh, let's go for a beer. Let's meet tonight on a beer. Yeah, come over and have a beer in my house. So, if he will go with this particular strength, what will happen? Do you believe people 55 plus wants to have plans for their enjoying their life now will subscribe for his service? Do you believe somebody with beer as identified as one of his strengths, that he knows all the bars, become a youth leadership trainer?
No.
Okay? So the point I want to make here is, no matter what strengths you have been discovering here, if you cannot validate that these strengths exist in the eyes of your network, people who are dealing with you, it means what?
And at some level, you're living a fantasy.
Yeah, at a certain point you're living a fantasy, or a certain point is you are not truthful, or you are not communicating your strengths. Like, I never knew you are an accountant, for example.
I'll thank you with a gas on it.
You know?
Because give me a glass of wine or two, I'll be dancing on the table and leading the party and, encouraging people. But I came into accounting under totally different.
It doesn't matter. This is something you have to be. So,
It's not what I want to show the world.
so when you want to validate these concepts, I would encourage you to have these strengths. Create discussions with people who love you, who work with you, who know you, and say, I came to a workshop, I came to a Winbury brand workshop, and I figured out that this is my 5 strengths. Can you rank them for me? Do you see the same strengths in me? Or if you would like us to run the surveys on your behalf, just let me know and we can send you the link, and then you can email it.
Oh,
And
I love that.
after that, we have like a graph and charts. Like it's a very well thought survey, but we had privacy things and the GDPR or GDPR, all kind of interesting things happening. So we had been warned, although we are a not-for-profit organization, which means not many of this will be relevant to us, we have been warned that don't do this. But as I said, just send me an email and I can set up this for you. The third way is basically you go to your social media, or option 2, you go to your Twitter, your Facebook, and just write, okay, I came up with these strengths, 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you guys agree?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
That's right. Because if a strength in you and people don't know it, it's either not real or you don't know how to communicate it. Okay? Now, in your marketing material, especially people who have already businesses, when you write in your bio or about you or your personal story, do you list these strengths? in a language which appeal to the 4 triggers.
Not all of them. Yeah,
So can you go back and change and see if it's relevant to modify what you have? So remember when we had the task list? Remember when we had this task list? So can you go back and write a relevant action? You missed the promise. You missed the promise, but you can write the action.
Thank you.
So can you go back and write at least 1 or 2 actions where you will apply some of these concepts? So how to maximize our strengths? How to maximize our strengths? To maximize the benefits of our strengths, we call it the 3C law or the 3C rules. We need to clarify, we should communicate, and capitalize. So once you identify your strengths, you should clarify them. Describe what are the strengths are about. And this is actually, if you keep in the notes, this is actually on page 15. So you know your strengths from your prospects. You complete the strengths diagram, type your 5, and you can put yes or no. You share your strengths effectively in person, on paper, and online. So if somebody has a problem solver, I'm a problem solver. Did you have a problem solver in your material? And if you don't have it, means what? The ignorant need an extra step, and the ignorant start with I, which is 1 in Roman. Do you understand how the concepts work together?
Yes. Yes.
Okay? So you need to communicate, you need to share it. Then in capitalizing, you need to find opportunities that require and will showcase your strengths. So if I'm a communicator, I will be able to communicate in events. But if my communication is not one of my skill sets, I either develop it, which will come to it in the weakness part, or I can find somebody else who is doing it for me. So where is your activities should be? It should be where you can capitalize on your strengths. And if your current business or current activity does not maximize your strengths, it means what? You can do more. Or you can do slightly different activity. You are not capitalizing on the real strengths you have. Any questions? Did you write some actions with some deadlines? So please use the promise sheet and write the actions so you can remember transformation happen with application of the new knowledge. Any questions? Each one of you know they are strong man and woman in the room now. So I want to share with you an experience from Marcel. Marcel is a German descent individual who came to Canada, and he has been my more than a business partner. He has been a fan and volunteer for my events, and I volunteer for his event. He's a business coach. So Marcel had this workshop with me about maybe 6-7 times. And you'll be surprised when you see he's the same workbook on the 5th, 6th iterations. Because he started to realize, he started to have better clarity. And he started to show different strengths, and he started to communicate them. So when we even see the chart for him, the chart was actually shifting toward what he's doing, what he's really capable of. So to encourage you, I use this story to encourage you. So if you can, when you on your leisure time, repeat this module and see how you, if you will get with different skill sets or not. Okay, so don't stop this at here. And as I said, you will have the audio recording. If you have the audio video recording, so if you wanna keep, you wanna replay again, you can replay. Are you ready to go to the second module?
Yeah. I'm just gonna stretch up, get some oxygen to my brain.
Or do?
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I see what you're saying about the. I've never told you I'm an accountant, right? Which is there's almost like a mismatch between the skill set and. Maybe it's, I'm like, yeah, I'm a person, and accountants like that, right?
However, having an accounting background is very strong because there are so many struggling accounting right now. So if you come and understand their business, you can basically coach this accountant, which is a very nice segment, very well defined segment. You can grab them from CPA presentations. That's right.
Some personality in the business.
Yeah, but are they a legitimate customers of yours?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, so let's go with the weakness side. So here's let's grab one and pass it over. So I was giving this workshop in the Middle East a couple of times, and I said even Superman has his own kryptonite. And I have a question: what is a kryptonite?
Do you have an extra one as well?
Yeah?
Thank you.
No.
Oh, there we go. Perfect. That went around the table.
Yeah. So I had the question: what is a kryptonite? Because in this country they don't have Superman in them also. They don't have any of this. So everyone has his own weaknesses. Even Superman has his kryptonite. Weakness might simply be things that don't interest you or areas where you haven't focused your energy. After all, there is only so much time in a day. So this has to give you posted. So if you want to start here on page 18, what weakness that I am aware of?
Will, should I put the food in the fridge and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, there's another fridge in the kitchen. It's okay. So, what weakness you are aware of? So, page 18. Okay, don't remember we are here about businesses. Okay, so don't get it personal. Okay. Number two, when working on a team, what role do I avoid that may be important to my goals? when working in a team, what role do I avoid that may be important to my goals? What's your role?
Leader. That I would avoid.
Okay. Is there any other roles?
It's the only one I can think of.
Okay. So what is the first one?
Clarity in process.
Number 3, when faced an overwhelming obstacle, what most likely to cause me to give up? Why will you give up?
I don't.
Believe me, you give up. If you are in
I was
this
like,
room,
yeah, I know. I was
I am
like,
in this room because I gave up in my life, okay?
Yeah.
I've been a professor now in different university, I've been somewhere else.
Yeah.
I built 22 business, I could be somewhere else, okay? I'm in this room because I gave up. You are in this room because you gave up, so must be a give up.
Yeah.
Okay, so why did you give up, okay?
Oh, goodness.
You know? And I don't share much in these particular modules because I don't want people to feel more vulnerable. We had this workshop one time and we had people doing multi-level marketing, and I learned the hard way not to enjoy to walk these people sometime out of the room, because now you get to know more about these people, about people's life. That's why in the wafer we have sections which say
Right.
we agree to share, and if you read it, you say like it's okay to share.
I'm still caught up on the. I did the third one, but the second one, like, what roles do I avoid? Like, I understand the roles of like leader and prosecutor to like challenge ideas, and listener, mediator.
Or marketing, or communication, or making phone calls, or bookkeeping, or what roles I will. If you don't care about details, you cannot be the bookkeeper.
Right.
You need to. I will show you how you can mitigate these weaknesses. If you don't want to lead, you are you are not a high risk individual. You are risk adverse. If you need more clarity, it's good. You have to give up to learn. Teach yourself how to give up on clarity, because not everything we do have clear clarity about. So these weaknesses will. If you are honest with yourself, that's why I'm not trying to get you away from the best practice. If you are honest with yourself, this will show what do you need to continue the next journey. Why do you smile? Don't go find another.
I'm going to change my answers now. Because I know exactly what you're saying. It's exactly what I wrote down there. It's exactly what I need to be doing.
So I had a few customers who just, when we had this, they said this is very useful for finding partners in life. So we always have the joke, after you're doing this module, don't go try to find a different spouse. Keep whoever you have in your life, because they are better than somebody else you don't know. Okay. So, yeah, but just basically, I want to just, like, this can help you focus on what you don't know about in your business. Now, what's the least successful project that I ever tackle, and what tripped me up? So what's the least successful project? Sorry, I don't want to say what's the failed projects you have in your life.
So other than my marriage, not personally. So no.
You know the relativity thing, the relativity concept.
For every
You-
action, there is a reaction.
No, you can sit with a hot lady, with a hot girl, for hours and hours. But if you're butt on a hot stove, you cannot sustain 1 minute. This is what we call it relativity, right?
Oh, that's funny. Well, thank you.
Nah, that's this relativity thing, like. So, what is the least successful projects you have, and what make it not successful? Now, we go to page 20, and in page 20, we wanna distill. So we discover, we distill, and then we validate. That's right. So can you look deeper and figure out 1 to 3 weaknesses that actually can hinder your goals? So what are the 3 weaknesses that can stop you from doing what you do, or stop you from growing the level you want to grow? Did you find 1 or 3 weaknesses that will hinder what you?
Yeah, so
You want to share? Are you sure?
sure.
Yeah, up to you. I think like this module is one of the dark modules. I don't like.
So I feel like I have a weakness in using language to communicate to people who have other triggers. So mine has been process. So I've really focused on process a lot. But like you showed me, some of my vendors, that's not to them. As once I deliver the product, they don't really focus on where it came from. They have a different value that they want to send to their customers. So I really had to work on my language
Yeah,
and communication skills.
that's awesome. Someone feels courage enough to share 1 weakness?
Mine's asking for the sale. I'm perfectly able to.
Who here
sit
doesn't
down.
have this? Who here doesn't have the fear of asking sales? Everybody has this fear.
It's where I stumble though. It's actually
And
vocalizing it and putting it on the table
And
that I
that's
have the worst trouble with.
and that's why I never ask for a sale. I invite you to join my program. I invite you to share the value of what I do. I never ask you to come and buy. Like, have you ever heard me come and buy? Like I believe I made a few promotion for the VIP upgrades, right? Did you notice, Jennifer, I'm doing any sales here? Someday you'll know how much sales I've been doing in this workshop.
I've noticed, but
Did you notice it as I was doing sales?
yes, I think most of the time, but probably missed a lot too.
So, what's his name? Oh my God! One of the individuals who was selling insurance in town, very well, Saru, is very well known. He has a video testimonial on me on Win Your Brand website. We have it video, uncut. He said he felt that we should be more aggressive selling because our sales has come like a commercial in the middle. Because I don't sell, I invite people to join. So if you have problem with selling, don't put your mindset into you have to sell these people. Ask them to join your membership club. Ask them to join your system. Ask them, and it has to come from you. Because if I sound, you know why you hate selling and you don't do it? Most likely when you were this beautiful girl, you know, like nobody just how you can walk. You know, when we were young, mom will say, okay, don't answer the doors, there's a salesman outside. Did you have the same thing? Oh, don't listen to this guy in the mall because they're selling you something.
Sounds
So-
like a used car salesman, right? When people
So-
do that, oh.
When we have been grown up, we never really appreciate the sales job. However, you are sitting next to each other here peacefully for one reason. That's you sold each one to the other. Because if you don't feel comfort and sitting safely because the other people sold you that this is a safe environment, you will not be here. You will care about your safety and you leave, that's right? So we are like if you have somebody in your life, if you have a spouse, if you have a friend, if you have a loving brother, loving sisters, people who keep calling you, it means one thing. You sold them the relationship with you is a good thing. So we sell by nature, but we hate to be salesman practice. So you stop selling and you start invite to join, to share your journey, to share the experience, to be part of the experience. So you wake up in the morning and say, I will today get new sign up to share our company experience. This may take away from you. And the second part will be, so when you sell, how you sell? Can you share with us how you sell?
Oh, that's my problem.
How you ask, what kind of material you give to people to ask for the sale?
Usually I give them, if I'm going to give them anything as far as material is concerned, a comparison.
A comparison. So we invented something we call 3T. So we have the 3C rules, that's right? Clarify, communicate, and capitalize. We have the 3T rules, which say you have to tell people, you have to give them the tool, and you have to give them the treat. To give you an example, I can talk about reciprocity, and reciprocity is a good example because you will sit in a restaurant and then you'll get the check. And with the check, you'll get one chocolate or one candy, which is less than 2 cents. And you look at the bill and you see it like $100. You go on the machine and you have a tips. So because I give you the candy or the chocolate at the end, how much tips will you make? On $10. So when they studied this behavior, they found out that when you give people treat, if I give you a treat, I will have 3% more tips. Because you have the candy. They said, okay, so can we add 2 candies as 2 treats? They found out the tips will increase by 14%, if I remember correctly. Okay, so what about 3? It did not increase. So what about the following? They said, let's give a candy, or a mint, or a bonbon, you know this, and then you take 2 steps away, and you come back and say, oh, and this is the second candy for you, or the second treat for you. They found out the tips will increase by 23%. Because it's not how you treat people, is how you give them the treat. So when you give somebody a treat or a bonus or a special discount or an extra book or an extra thing, what you will do? I feel good inside. I'm asking you to join. Okay? Like people will come and say, okay, I gift lots of tickets and I sell lots of tickets. And you say, I ran sometimes 100% workshops for no reason other than running the workshop. But it makes me feel good. And these people, when they go out, they get me more customers. So people come to you, why do you waste your time with these people? I'm not wasting my time. I feel good. I feel my program is effective, is efficient, and this empower me to invite people more to come to join our family. Like our website, our Facebook group called Win Your Brand Family. You are coming as one of our family. I don't sell it. I don't sell you coaching. I don't sell you training. You come and join. We have working groups, we have workshops, we have training sessions, we have family, we have teams. You can come and join them. So if you can reshift, or I know if you can shift your perspective, you are not selling or asking for the sale. You ask them to join your team or your family or your client base or your customers. Invite them to join and see how it works.
You use the word family and your holistic earth people, that will be like skyrocket.
Well, I'm actually thinking community over family, because she's building a heart-based community.
When helping indeed promote, I use community.
Because the relationship people will admire the words which will connect on the relationship.
Yeah.
So family, community, connected groups, support the groups, not groups. It resonates better with them. But people who care about the money, they care about the credibility. Credibility, can you show me the CV of each one of the group? They will not join groups. So high paying clients will not join communities, will not join support groups.
What will
Okay.
they join? You said they won't join.
They don't
Individual-
join.
They don't.
Individual programs.
They wanna
individual
sell-
them,
yeah.
That'll increase
They'll do
their
individual stuff.
profitability.
Yeah. And if you understand the 9 characteristics of a buyer, there is something we call the white hat. And the white hat is somebody, I will pray for your mercy to to get your hand to your pocket, to pay me that you join my program. There are people like that. So if you want to sell to the Sutherland family or any of these families, you are praying for their mercy, for them to join, to be your customers. You never can show that you are forcing them to buy. If you have tribunal people or people like what Leil was said, like I don't see the leadership in me, which is everybody under the line according to Karen Carlson definition, or anybody is devastating or having problems. You tell them, would you mind if we sign together, and you hand the pen to them? Because if you tell her, can you sign here, she'll say no, I don't have the leadership to sign. But if you say, let's sign together, and you hand the pen in her way, she will sign. So there are lots of knowledge, like this is for us selling these techniques, like 3-4 workshops based on few parameters, but there are so many into it if you wanna invite these people to your journey. But first of all, you have to appreciate that you are the one looking for the cash dollars to be able to sustain your business. If your primary goal is to make money, I'm not the best help for you. Go somewhere else. If you have a mission, you have a vision, you have a program, you have a transformation thing, and you want to impact people, we can show how we can make revenue from these people to sustain the system, including paying your bills and having a happy life. Now, these people are characteristics. There are 9 of them. There are triggers. There are few things. We are lucky enough not to meet everybody in our life. We will always meet a segment based on our customer base location. So if you are in the holistic area, most of the time you'll find people having no money triggers, not no money, they have money, but they have no money triggers. They don't care is expensive or not expensive. They care is what can do for them. So you can basically learn from the system how you fit your customer base. So the information shouldn't be overall. Is this helpful?
So the holistic people have the no money trigger, but they don't care how expensive it is, but it's what the with them, what it can do for them. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. This is the relationship, and this is why you can sell makeup. This is why you can sell fashion. That's why you can sell marijuana. The same thing. That's right. Any questions? Any other questions around?
Yeah, I just want to kind of echo what Jenna said. I am not a salesperson. I do not trust salespeople. I do not like being associated with sales. This is like number one, right? Like, and that's.
And this is
resonates,
worries
right?
me,
Like,
by the way, because if you don't trust salespeople, okay, I understand you don't like sales, no problem. Hire salespeople. But if you say I don't trust salespeople, you cannot even hire them.
Oh, exactly. That's an unconscious bias, right? Like it's, or for me, it's conscious. Like it's very like
And
front of mind.
this
and
is
it
need.
stops me
This
from
is need to
moving forward.
change
Exactly. And
by writing down every day for 66 days. Salespeople are good people.
I just said to him, you hang out with me. I'm a salesperson and you're like me. Because that's the
We're
thing,
hanging out.
right? This is because
I
that's
drag her to lots of places.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? If you don't know a salesperson that you actually really like, and that comes from that place, that of
Yep.
the same,
yeah, because
right?
you got that. It's just that. And again, this is 100% bias that's in here. It's you get that slimy, sleazy, kind of greasy, like
Yeah.
everything that's coming out of your mouth is just to get me to sign and throw my money away, and then there's no accountability or anything afterwards, because after you leave, I'm somebody else's problem in your client care representative group and operations, and I live in operations and I deal with all that garbage, so it's like it's reinforced too.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
That comes down
Always
to the
is.
broken relationship.
Yeah.
They sold to you, built the relationship, and then they screwed off somewhere.
But they're not building relationships with me because I said no before they even had a chance to say hello. My name is blah, right? And that's not even fair, but it's a reality.
I can share with you how to change your mind.
Good.
Because at the end of the day, if you have a good marriage, it means you sold everybody in your marriage. So you are a salesman. You know who's the best salesman I ever seen?
5-year-old boys.
Your children.
Yeah, my daughter is amazing.
You know this guy from the scouts, and this girls
Guys,
scouts,
yeah.
girl guys. You know this young man who will come over to your house, sells you a $1 bad taste chocolate, and then what you will do is you pay for this chocolate like between $5 to $10,
Yep.
and you have a smile and you be happy, and you brag in front of everybody that you bought something which you can get from the dollar store for actually 10 cents, and you pay for it like $10, and guess what? You will have it in your pantry. And then when your brother or sisters be around, or your nephew or nieces,
Yeah.
what you do, you gift them with this awful chocolate that you don't. I'm a chocolate fan. I love chocolates, okay? But I cannot. This is the only chocolate I cannot eat. Okay, this is like a bad chocolate. So these individuals who will come to your house, if you understand the instructions from the Scouts Canada will be, parent will hang around the kids, and parent should not be seen from the door, because the young man need to be on his own, because people buy by their own emotion. People pay more money for emotion. They don't pay for the value. If anybody has a mind, they will go buy a Swiss chocolate at a lower price, bigger volume and better taste.
I sold more chocolates representing my daughter and not representing myself than anything else. It's like, this is for my daughter's Girl Guides. Cases would go, and I could,
Yeah, but
I
I like
could
the
facilitate the.
I like the
process.
cookies. I like the mint cookies, the chocolate mint cookies. Those are like. Anyway, now, as you see, we work on 3 different levels. So we clarify, we distill. Now we want to validate. So in validation, did anyone identify a weakness that you're not already aware of? So if you have the personal impact survey, this will be more helpful. But the question is, Do you have in your friends somebody who identify a weakness in you that you don't agree with or you don't see reasonable? Question number 2. Did you discover that others saw strengths in you that you thought were weakness? So can you discover if somebody seen strengths in you that you understand as weakness? Now, which weaknesses are not essential to your goal? And in number 4, what weakness might hold you back from getting where you need to go? This is where you will want to focus your energy. So, do you have a weakness that will hold you from getting where you have?
Yeah.
So can you write it down, if you can, in number 4? And this will lead to what we call it the 3M law. So how do you deal with weaknesses? How do I deal with weakness?
Self-improvement and
First one, I can mitigate weakness. So mitigate means what?
reduce.
Yeah, minimize it.
So I can basically figure out services and the areas of what I do. So for example, if I'm running a workshop training and I don't like sales and it's a weak part of me, so what should I do? I should reduce my involvement with promoting and selling my service. How can I reduce this? By having a partner,
Yeah.
by having a group selling on my behalf. That's right. So I shouldn't be able to come and say, I like to have people to do what they do, what I do, so I can go and sell more.
I'm here, aren't I? I'm aware there's a problem.
Okay. The other one is I can manage. So I can manage these weaknesses. So if it comes in my way, I can avoid any steps toward my weakness. So I can manage the impact of my weakness. So if your weakness not to have websites, or your weakness is computer based, so figure out someone who can do the computer site for you, the website for you. And by the way, if you want to have help with your website, there is a SatanNet in Alberta, Calgary, and Edmonton. If you go to NATE, they have a student forum there. If you have your laptop and you have some question, you'll find people there helping you for free. We used to go to SAT here and have some marketing brochures to the marketing groups and say, you know what do you think about this marketing brochure? Can you help us here? And we used to collect feedback, very reasonable feedback, because we were selling products to the students themselves. So we need to have a first check, somebody would check it first cut. So the minute you identify your weaknesses, the minute you can do something about it. The number 3 is you can master your weakness. How to master your weakness?
Practice and education.
Yes. So you can master your weakness by learning and get trained into what's your weakness. The problem we've seen with business owners is, first of all, they don't know their weakness, and once they identify the weakness, they avoid doing it. And when the weakness will come as a part, we have like groups, like we run working groups. We have like a Saturday, every other Saturday for 3 hours working groups, and on Sundays we have it online. So we have working groups in person and online, 3 hours. And through these working groups, you have business partners and individuals who have auxiliary skills to you or complementary skills to you. So if you want to manage the limitation you have, what you do? You participate in these groups. You don't participate in mastermind. You don't participate into networking events. You figure out to participate into a working group. People will bring their laptops here, everybody opens their WordPress, and let's work for 3 hours. You know, when we write books and we go to this book writing retreats, this book writing retreats is a way to manage our weakness in writing our books. Are you aware of this book writing retreat? They go to Hawaii and different nice places.
Okay.
But now I would love anybody to go to Hawaii right now.
No, right.
Right now it's
It's very
melting.
smoky.
Yeah, right now it's melting. Anyway, so the other part is what we always like to do is we like to master it. So we always are learning how to build our website, how to. So there's individuals say, you know what, I will not pay anybody for social media. I will do it myself. And they're doing it. So why are you doing it? Because other people have social media present, okay? But you customers are 65 plus years old who rarely being on social media. So why you do it? To start with. Okay? So these are the 3M rules. So today we learn rule number 1 of the rule, which is,
Know the rules so you can break the rule.
then we learn the 3C rules. So what were the 3C rules?
Clarify.
And capitalize. And then we learn the 3T tools. So what's the 3 tools?
Teach them,
Tell.
tool,
And treat. So if you want somebody to give you a referral, you have to give them a tool. You have to tell them what they will say. You have to give them the tool, which is a flyer or a brochure or a link or an email, and you have to give them a treat, a commission, a gift, a recognition, whatever.
Discount, yeah.
A discount. Okay? So the last part is, if you have a skill, which is the last table on page 23. So on 23, if you have a skill, what's the current level of the skill? What are the resources and the opportunities? If there is a mentor who can help you. So once you have a skills missing, you can basically identify how level you have. So if you don't know how to sell, if you don't know how to market, if you don't know how to position, if you don't know how to run a business, if you don't know where to start, you are in the right location here. Because at least I can share with you templates how to start. Now, if you want to come and we can work together with us, we can also share with you how we can do that. If you want to take the template, go on your own, and then come back in a week or 2, there is also a way to do this. So if you identify what you lack, you can be halfway to the solution. However, how many of you here, when they have headache, they will go to the doctor first? Almost none. Everybody has headache, what they will do?
Drink some water.
That's a big thing. Yeah.
Or what? Or they take Tylenol or Advil, or they do something, you know? And when the headache will not go away for a couple of weeks, what will happen?
Or Google it.
What will happen?
Dr. Google.
A couple of weeks?
Yes. You'll go to the doctor. Because we go to the doctors
I avoid the doctor.
for what we want, not what we need. Okay? We are not competent of diagnosing what we need. And this is the same valid for your customers. Your customers will need something. What they need is not what they fix them up. So I had individuals who come to me and say, oh yeah, you know what? All what I need is these 3 customers. Great. Do you have a message to give to them? No.
Yeah.
Do you have a process? No. Do you understand your sales objections? No. Okay. So you don't need more customers. You need to fix what you say. They will come on their own.
Yeah.
So I see it all the time. Oh, somebody, I need more, and it bugs me. Oh, I need more income. I say, okay, so how many customers that will come to you will help you to be? I don't know. What's your time, your lifetime value of your customers? I don't know. So if you have no questions, we can have a break, There is, I believe, some leftover of coffee there.
Copyright 2017 Win Your Brand. All rights reserved. This video is subject to copyright owned by Win Your Brand. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this video is expressly prohibited, unless Win Your Brand has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other rights reserved.